Okay, Elisa and Sam are going to buy a smoothie for lunch. A smoothie at the Smoothie Hut. They are running a special of 20% off your smoothie. How much will their total be if smoothies are normally $6.75? So what we really need to do is figure out what the discount is going to be off of the smoothie, the regular price of the smoothie. So we know that they're offering 20% off, and normally smoothies are $6.75. And once we figure out what the 20% off, the most common way students solve this is they go back and figure out how many smoothies they're going to buy for their total. So depending on what you like, you can either use an equation or a proportion to solve this. So if I use a proportion, I'm going to put 20 on the top, 20% off, and we are actually solving for the part. If you think about it, $6.75 is actually the total cost of one smoothie, and the discount is going to be a portion of that. So the portion that we're trying to figure out is 20% of the $6.75. So if we're doing it in a proportion this way, we'll take our calculator and we will cross multiply. 20 times $6.75 gives us $135, divided by 100 is $1.35. Now what does $1.35 stand for? That's not the cost of a smoothie. That's way smaller than $6.75, much lower than 20%. 20% off. We just figured out what 20% of $6.75 is. So this is how much is off the actual price of the smoothie. That's the discount. So we have to go back up to our smoothie price, and most students take the smoothie price, just one smoothie, and subtract the $1.35 to get the cost of the smoothie at the discounted price. So $6.75 minus $1.35 is going to give you $5.40 per smoothie. Now that we know how much one smoothie costs, $5.40, we need one for Elisa and one for Sam. So you can just take $5.40, multiply it times 2 to get $10.80 for their total price of the smoothie. Now, you can also solve this using an equation, and some of you might find it easier to do so. You can find 20% of $6.75 by moving that decimal on the 20% and making it into a decimal, multiplying it times $6.75, and you're going to get the same exact answer of $1.35. But you still need to understand that that $1.35 is actually how much you're getting off of the original price. You're getting a deal. We're not paying for the 20%. So you would then solve it the same way. We would take $1.35 off of $5.40. There's one more way to look into this. Well, a couple ways to look at it, but there's another way to use the equation of proportion to solve for how much you are actually paying of a smoothie. So if this is the price of a smoothie and it's $6.75, and that's 100% of the smoothie, and if we are getting 20% of that smoothie off, what is left over? What's the price we're actually going to be paying for? Well, it's going to be 100% minus the 20 that they're taking away from us. We're going to be paying for the remaining 80%. If we're paying for 80% of the smoothie, couldn't we just find out what 80% of the smoothie cost is, and that would be how much we're actually paying? It would already take the discount off for us, so we can kind of skip this whole step of subtracting or subtracting after the fact, and we can subtract right now with figuring out what percentage we're paying for. So I can do 80% of $6.75, and that's how much I'm paying because I'm taking off the 20%. So 80 times $6.75 divided by 100, and magically that gives us $5.40 per smoothie. Now, if you wanted to break it down and not just do one smoothie price, but do the whole price, you could say, well, I need 2 smoothies. So $6.75 times 2 is going to be $13.50. And then you could take 20% off of that and subtract it out, or you can go ahead and do 80% of $13.50. And that'll actually give you $10.80. And look at that. We just skipped a bunch of different steps just by taking the total first. So depending on how you think about that, there are a couple of different ways that you can solve them. But like I said, most students stay up here in this realm and they figure out the 20% off of the original price first, subtract it from the price, and then just grab 2 of those smoothies to get their total. So the total for Elisa and Sam's smoothies in this case is going to be $10.80. So you would follow the same process with whatever percentage off. You would just change the percent amount. Like if you're doing 30% off deal, change it to 30, change it to 0.30, and you can apply it to any number of examples in that way.